Hello Moto GP fans, welcome back to ZNGP today. Former LCR Honda sporting director Óscar Haro brought his trademark passion and technical news to Nico Abad's channel, dissecting everything from Marc Márquez's adaptation woes on the Ducati to the emotional bonds that tie the paddock together. His remarks range from high praise for Fabio Quartararo and Alex Márquez to a moving testament to motorcycling's human core. Ducati Corse sporting director Gigi Dall'Igna pulled no punches in his debrief of the Spanish Grand Prix at Jerez. While Alex Márquez's maiden Premier Class victory and another all-Ducati split lockout made headlines, Dall'Igna believes there are clear lessons to take, particularly from Pecco Bagnaia's Sunday pace and Marc Márquez's rapid recovery after a pre-race crash. A video clip from Jerez has reignited the long-standing feud between Valentino Rossi and Marc Márquez. Captured just moments after Márquez's high side on lap 3, Rossi's subtle reaction in the service area has polarized fans, earning boos in the once hallowed Nietopoluqui zone and sparking heated debate across social media. As Yamaha pushes to reclaim its former MotoGP glory, technical director Max Bartolini has identified a crucial pitfall, overloading factory rider Fabio Quartararo with test duties at the expense of race performance. With new concessions granting extra mileage and data, and lofty projects like the V4 engine on the horizon, Yamaha must carefully balance development work against Quartararo's need to hone his YZR-M1 setup and speed. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Haro kicked off by saluting two riders who've won his admiration for very different reasons. He called Fabio Quartararo's solo development work on an underpowered Yamaha admirable, then turned emotional when recalling Alex Márquez's humility, literally walking the circuit on foot to reconnect with his roots. Alex told me he was doing a lap of the circuit on foot, to touch down, to remember where he comes from. That humility makes him great, Haro said. Diving into the technical, Haro explained why Marc Márquez's switch to Ducati has been challenging, particularly the bike's brutal rear grip that upsets the front under heavy braking, demanding a new braking and throttle approach. On a Ducati, the rear grip is brutal. That force pushes the front end under braking, and when you cut the throttle, the bike doesn't brake like a Honda. Haro defended Márquez's recent mistakes in Austin and Jerez, insisting only the latter crash stemmed from Ducati-specific chassis quirks, not overconfidence, and that with time Marc will master the desmestheticized boundaries. In the United States, he crashed because he was overconfident. But in Jerez, it was the kind of crash that Pecco had many times last year. It's a technical issue, not an attitude issue. Turning to Moto2 prodigy Fermín Aldeguer, Haro praised the youngster's fearless energy and highlighted how Alex Márquez's open sharing in the pits has accelerated Aldeguer's learning curve. Fermín is absorbing everything, Alex teaches and helps, and that transfer of knowledge is spectacular. The most poignant moment came when Haro reflected on the Márquez brothers' off-track bond, Marc's consoling hug in the Corralito after Alex's win, and warned against losing sight of the sport's humanity amid its technical arms race. We're so obsessed with the technical and the competitive that we forget humanity. From raw performance insights to poignant tales of humility and brotherhood, Óscar Haro's analysis reminds us that MotoGP is as much about human spirit as horsepower. As Marc continues his Ducati education and talents like Aldeguer emerge, those values will shape the paddock just as surely as engineering updates. Although Bagnaia secured a valuable third place, capitalizing on Marc Márquez's tumble, Dall'Igna felt the former champion didn't deliver the race-winning bursts Ducati had come to expect, especially after his blistering first lap. Pecco fell short of expectations. In the race pace, however, he lacked the sharpness that we all were expecting, as well as those peaks that are needed to bring him back to challenging for the top. Gigi Dall'Igna statement. Alex Márquez's breakthrough victory didn't just endear him to the Gresini camp. It also extended Ducati's historic streak to 22 consecutive Premier Class triumphs, matching Honda's all-time mark. A record-breaking streak equaled, and thanks to Alex Márquez's superb achievement, 5 different riders taking the honors in this splendid chain of successes. Marc Márquez's crash from the lead was a shock, but his tenacity shone through when he remounted and salvaged 12th place on a heavily damaged Desmosedici, an effort Dall'Igna praised as exemplary spirit. What can I say about Marc? We must appreciate the rider's grit in wanting to return to the track, bringing a badly damaged bike to scoring points, and an amazing final 12th position. Jerez underlined that Ducati's challengers are improving fast. From factory Yamahas to KTM and Aprilia, every contender showed their hand, reminding Ducati that development can never stand still. In Jerez, our opponents showed what they are capable of, which makes our challenges and this wonderful sport even more engaging. With Bagnaia now 20 points adrift of the championship lead and Alex Márquez holding a slender advantage, Ducati's focus turns to Le Mans. Dall'Igna insists the team must raise its performance bar if it hopes to keep the title fight in-house. We must constantly work hard to raise the level of our performances and to make our fans happy. Jerez delivered triumphs and wake-up calls for Ducati alike. As Bagnaia hunts sharper race pace and Márquez refines his Ducati craft, Dall'Igna's roadmap is clear: sharpen the Desmosedici, stay ahead of hungry rivals, and carry that momentum into France. In the footage shared by journalists at SR Pole on X, Rossi is seen watching Márquez's crash with members of his VR46 team. As the Honda-turned Ducati rider slides out, a teammate exclaims audibly, "Oops, Marc has fallen, no!" Audio clip, quote. The reaction wasn't confined to online chatter. During Saturday's sprint, Rossi was met with jeers in the legendary Nietopolukwi enclave, once his stronghold, now echoing with Márquez's supporters. On Sunday, Rossi notably avoided exiting through that zone, while fellow veteran Dani Pedrosa received a standing ovation on his warm-down lap. The tension traces back to the dramatic finale of 2015, when Rossi accused Márquez of deliberately hampering his title fight with Jorge Lorenzo. Though Rossi has since hung up his leathers, his relationship with Márquez remains strained, evident in every tense glance and half-smile shared between them. Opinions split sharply. Critics argue that any hint of celebration at a rival's crash betrays the dignity Rossi once embodied. Defenders counter that a fleeting, unguarded reaction doesn't amount to mockery, and that spontaneous moments can be blown out of proportion. Spontaneous reactions happen in shock. Interpreting this out of context is unfair to Rossi. Fan defense, quote. Beyond fans, the incident has underlined how the Rossi-Márquez saga still shapes Moto GP's atmosphere. Team principals, riders, and media now watch every interaction for signs of détente, or fresh sparks, proving that some rivalries never truly fade. As the paddock moves on to Le Mans, all eyes will remain on Rossi and Márquez, both on the grid and off it, to see if this latest flashpoint brings a thaw or fans the embers of one of the sport's greatest feuds. Under MotoGP's concession rules, Yamaha enjoys greater freedom to run tests, try new engines, and experiment with chassis refinements. Yet Bartolini warns this advantage can backfire if it demands too much from Quartararo during the season. Instead of focusing purely on race pace and setup, the Frenchman risks being diverted into development tasks that could blunt his competitive edge at critical moments. If we only set pure test tasks during the year, then it slows down the factory riders, Max Bartolini said. Bartolini draws a clear distinction between test riders and racers. While dedicated test riders can fully commit to long-term development, factory stars like Quartararo must split their attention between immediate qualifying tactics and broader R&D objectives. The challenge lies in preserving Quartararo's freedom to fine-tune his race settings without overburdening him with prototype evaluations. A tester is a tester and a racer is a racer. We always have to let them drive freely and work on their setting and their speed. One of Yamaha's most ambitious projects is the switch from its current inline-4 to a V4 configuration, promising enhanced mid-corner torque and more aggressive acceleration. However, Bartolini admits that this radical overhaul remains in development limbo. While Yamaha eyes a mid-season debut, practical constraints, especially the need to protect Quartararo's performance, mean the V4's arrival at a Grand Prix could be further delayed. Theoretically, we can test a lot, but in practice we can't use everything for testing purposes. Before unleashing a new engine architecture, Yamaha will introduce an updated version of its trusted inline-4 at Le Mans next weekend. Quartararo sampled this spec at Monday's Jerez test, praising the extra punch while maintaining the M1's hallmark smooth delivery. The interim upgrade is designed to sharpen his competitiveness immediately, without diverting focus from essential race preparation. This upgrade is more powerful, pretty much what we've asked for. Quartararo's pole and podium in last weekend's Spanish GP were a timely reminder of his talent and Yamaha's gradual resurgence. Returning to his home Grand Prix at Le Mans with fresh data, new engine spec, and a clear directive to prioritize race setup over test duties, the Frenchman aims to replicate, and surpass, his Jerez heroics against a field that has steadily closed the gap. Yamaha's path back to the front is paved with technical innovation and strategic nuance. As Max Bartolini steers development and Fabio Quartararo focuses on pure racecraft, the balance they strike between testing and racing will determine whether the tuning fork team can once again challenge Ducati and KTM at the pinnacle of Moto GP. Thanks for watching ZNGP today, and this is your Moto GP news update. And see you next time!